Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Masuri Balde. We are back again on another edition to take a look at the things happening around and, of course, analyze them. You know, we invite people to come and review the newspapers with us, and Jacqueline Colley is here to help us review the newspapers today. And the co-host of this program is Mr. Momodu Mboj. Mr. Mboj, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ibrahim Masuri Balde. Absolutely. So now today, yes, I'm sort of sitting in for others, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it's good to have you here. And Mr. Momodu Mboj, thank you. And Jacqueline, it's our newspaper review guest. He was here yesterday as well.
Yeah.
And Jacqueline, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's a beautiful morning, and it's good to be back on this platform to review the newspapers with you guys.
I mean, we have very interesting headlines right now. I'm seeing some of the papers' headline, very interesting. Mr. Momodu Mboj, I mean, let's somehow, I mean, touch on America yesterday. Donald Trump, the winner of the American election.
Yes.
I mean, what does this mean to the people of the United States?
Not just the United States and the rest of the world. No, nobody really knows. We think we do. So when you read some of the comments, you've got this sort of doom and gloom story. You know what I mean? People think that Armageddon is coming. But, you know, we could be surprised. I didn't know. What I love about it, there was one British, the English writer saying that, "Goodbye, America, it was nice knowing you." As if that we've lost America. So we really do not know. Some of us are very scared because remember when the first time round, what did he call us? I wouldn't even dare to repeat what the word he used, you know, to describe Africa. So let's just brace ourselves for I don't know what.
Well, the reason why I asked is we've at least got a glimpse of Trump's administration for the past 4 years. I mean, I can say 8 years. You know, we've seen the type of a person he is, and the types of ruling that he will impose. It will not be a surprise to see other things as well, but probably he might also change other things for the good.
Yeah, I would also say, like, Americans electing Trump is like giving a second chance to your toxic ex. Who knows?
Your toxic ex.
I'm telling you,
like
who knows? Like, he might surprise us, but you look at the 7 things he said he's going to do once he get into office, and one is the massive deportation of undocumented immigrants. And you know that is going to be, according to experts in the BBC report, is going to have some legal and logistical problems, and it's going to affect the economy as well. So, and Gambians are also affected because we have so many immigrants in the U.S. So, I mean, you can never tell what is to come in a Trump government.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now they call him fascist. You see, fascist is a very interesting word. We associated with Italy, of course, in the 1930s, Mussolini, and then afterwards with Hitler. And people think that being fascist means you're a racist or you're far right. It's much more than that. It's your approach to leadership. It is the authoritarianism. That's really what characterizes fascism in many ways. And then you have this ultra-nationalist ideology. I mean, he's got this whole package of ideas. And to some of us, we're like, oh my God, this is going to be an awful period. But again, one hopes that the international system would at least be a kind of buffer, will be a kind of regulator to sort of keep him in check to some extent. We hope so. But we can't see any other power center around the world that can keep him in check. We'll see what happens.
It's difficult to put Trump on check. I mean, you know, although there's a system in America, we might see Trump as the head of state, but at some point it has to pass through so many stages before it gets to the end. But let's see what will happen. Let's hope and pray I mean, the good happen?
Well, yes, I'm sure prayer works, but in the end, you need to have a strategy
And
Yeah.
hope.
given that this is what he is, this is what he plans for the world. So how are we going to react? What are we going to do? So you have a strategy. You pray, of course, but you have a strategy.
Well, but I mean, the world also needs to brace themselves up. I mean, because they've witnessed his 4 years, this past 4 years. Obviously, they will also be prepared to, I mean, to what is coming as well. So, but let's take a look at the African code, Mr. Mudumboch. Can you read it out for us?
Of course. Tomorrow belongs to people who prepare for it today.
I like the sound of that.
It's a very famous, saying. You know, I'm not sure it's an African proverb. It's a thing that people use all the time. Tomorrow belongs to people who prepare for it
Today.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is
And
still-
in my own
yes.
understanding of what you just read out, tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Today.
You know, people have dreams and aspirations. When you have dreams and aspirations, you have to prepare for it today. You don't just sleep on the bed all day and expect things to work out for you tomorrow. It starts from today. Hard work, dedication, and perseverance. That's what gets you there. You just don't have big dreams and say, okay, these are my dreams and I'll pray to God for it to materialize without working hard towards it. I think that's my own understanding of the quote.
Where you stand when you're young, I mean, it interprets where you're going to be when you are old. I mean, you keep saying that, Mr. Mboy. I don't know whether it matches with this proverb.
Well, kind of. Things are all interconnected, as it were. If I want to become whatever tomorrow, whenever, then I have to start thinking, okay, then what do I need to do? What actions will lead me to this dream?
Exactly.
So they must start at some point. I have to start today, otherwise I'm not going to get there.
Exactly.
You know, the longest journey starts with a single step, as they say.
Yeah.
So these are the stepping stones. So what are they? How do I prepare? So this is really the difficult thing about human beings. I know that there's somewhere that I want to go, but where do I get there? You don't always get the answers. Sometimes you may go down the wrong path and then realize later on that, ooh, this is not the path that I should be on. Then you change track.
Yeah.
You see, stuff like that.
Such is
So
life.
that is really the difficulty about it. Knowing where I want to go is one thing. Knowing what steps will take me there, quite another.
Yeah. And
Do
it's
I-
not easy. You always get on stumbling blocks, but you still got to get up and move on.
That's it.
You
So
just-
that's where character comes in.
Yeah.
Some people, they give up much easier than others. So you need to have that strong character,
Yeah.
that will, determination, the
Exactly.
endurance, you know, to bear anything, and
That
then
comes
so
your
that
way.
you'll get there. So I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean, it's important for you to recognize how you're going to get there.
Absolutely.
I mean, going there, everybody wants to go there. But how are we going there? You know, but also you have to understand we all have our means of getting to where we want to be. I mean, some might be faster than another, but at some point the goal is to get where we all want to go.
Yeah.
Although some might not get there.
That's very important. Absolutely, because sometimes you set out sort of on a journey, but you don't get there. Not for want of trying. You've been trying to do so, but for some reason you realize sooner or later that you really can't. So how do you adapt? I can't go to destination A, but possibly I can go to destination B. So how do I adapt midstream,
Yeah.
as it were? So it's a very difficult situation. That is why they tell you that it's important that I know myself. You know, self-awareness, isn't it? That's
yeah.
really very important.
It
They call
is.
it the beginning of knowledge. And then I see how I can use that understanding to navigate, as it were, around external circumstances, things that stand in your way. So it just depends.
Yeah, it just
It's
depends.
very, very
Human
difficult.
beings, we are always in a haste. But
yeah.
life will give us second chances. Just because you worked hard for 4 years and you didn't get it does not mean you will not get it. Get up and try again.
That's it.
It takes some people 5, 10, 15 years to get where they want to, but they'll still get there. Just the time, hard work, dedication, and endurance. You need to endure whatever comes your way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, everything, time heals everything. Let's give it some time. So at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we will delve into some of the stories on the papers. We'll be right back.
First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped from Minte, rifled in! Out.
ndax xam nga ne ak sa Q Money wallet bi mun ngaa jënda cash power te doo si fay dara mun ngaa jënda bellu tollu si $1,000 jëfandekool ak suñu app bi wala nga dial *323# nga toppa sarta yi busal 3 pour jënda Q power soo paree nga tànn register meter soo paree nga dugal sa meter number bi dial *323# nga toppa sarta yi busal 3 pour jënda Q power busal benn pour tànn app bi nga bëgg a jënda te it di nga bànneexul si free call bu la Qcell di may saay boo dugalee xaalis pour jënda Q power pour am si lu la leer koolal 133 Q Money suñu kalpe
We are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Masuri Balde. Now let's move to some of the stories making headline. And of course, we also have a report on undocumented migrants. I mean, as one of our stories. And as you know, when it comes to migrants, Donald Trump always talk about it. He doesn't take that matter lightly, you know. And I think before the elections, I engaged some of the people in the United States, and you know, they will tell you, migrants, they have nowhere to live in the U.S. At some point, they are all sitting on a very sharp edge that they will all be returned to their countries. I mean, we've also engaged a few people that were sent from the U.S. to the Gambia, and you know, they'll tell you they don't take the issue of migrants lightly under Trump's administration. So Jacqueline, here is Donald Trump, I mean, as the President of the United States of America. What do you think will happen?
If I'm to tell you what I think, honestly, I don't even know what to think. Because under Donald Trump, you can get many surprises, you know. Like I said when we began, that the massive deportation that he's planning to do will not only have an effect on those that will be deported, but as on the American economic growth as well, as reported by the BBC, that experts told the BBC that deportation on the scale promised by Donald Trump would face huge legal and logistical challenges, especially, and it could have a slow economic growth on the U.S. economy as well. So it will not only affect those that will be deported, but it could affect the U.S. as well on that large scale. You can expect anything under Donald Trump's administration. Expect anything.
But how will this affect the U.S.? I mean, they'll tell you undocumented migrants are taking over our employment. Most of our people are unemployed in the U.S. and the wages are becoming lower because these people, they've invaded the, working market. So how will this affect the U.S.? I think at some point, the notion they have is when they send these people back to their native countries, at some point, the market will be free, more U.S. citizens will be employed, the employment market will be booming.
Okay.
Let's be careful with that. Just because he's asserted that doesn't make it factually accurate. Factually, what's going on?
Yeah.
We've seen this in Europe. This isn't an American problem. It's almost like
It's
a
a global
Western. It's a Western
sort of
issue.
Yeah.
You go to Europe, it's exactly
the
the
same
same.
here.
Migration is really the only dynamic, the only political dynamic in the discourse, as it were. Go anywhere. But again, everybody knows that because of demographic, as it were, issues, they need younger people to go in there to help. That was why Spain's prime minister came over here. Then they were trying to find a way of how to organize and control migration, knowing that you need labor, younger people. We are the most youthful continent right now. So that is the issue. But there's something else. I mentioned ultranationalism earlier on. So you have this nationalist rhetoric going around, distorting the facts. Now, apparently, we live in a post-truth world.
Yeah.
Nobody's really interested in what the truth is.
No.
Really. Just perceptions, distortions, following your own ideology that would trample on all the facts.
Exactly.
Don't care about the facts. So this is what is going on. But for US, there's something else. The biggest economy in the world, the biggest military power in the world. It is the linchpin of so many of these international alliances and the international institutions. They give so much money to the UN. Now, what's going to happen to that? He's already said that 20% tariffs on all imports into the US. That's the biggest market. What's going to happen there?
Exactly.
So there are just so many question marks. We're focusing a lot on these deportations. But when you look at the broader picture, there are far more important things.
You have a lot of things to deal with.
To deal with.
Absolutely.
So what's gonna happen?
Yeah. So let's take a look at Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
For me, from my own perspective, I think she came at a very the time was very late for her when she showed her interest to be the candidate for the presidency as well. I think they didn't do their homework right. I don't know.
It's not a question of when she showed interest. It was a matter of the president, Joe Biden, deciding.
Yeah, that Kamala.
When to leave. So everybody was talking about his memory, his delivery, his performance. That had gone on for a very, very long time. I think that it was afterwards the party heavyweights sort of leaned on him for him really to leave. So Kamala was always going to be in a difficult situation, an ethnic minority in the U.S., and you were a woman. We know, I think from the statistics I read the other day, 54% of Trump's voters were all male.
Yeah.
This anti-feminism part of it, racism part of it.
Yeah.
So you have all these factors that congealed really, hardened against her. So it was always going to be difficult. And it seems the world is in a slightly different mood now.
It is.
It's quite interesting that technologically in certain areas there's a lot of convergence, but again politically there's a lot of division. Everywhere you find. So you have these two parallel tracks, as it were, going on. It's a very strange.
Well, I think politically, for us to have our different divergent views, it's a normal thing. We might all converge and agree onto one thing, but politically we might have our different views as well. We've seen that happen in almost all over the world. You can agree onto something, maybe something that was better for your nation, but at some point when it comes to the political party or the political line that you belong to, we might have a difference. We've seen that.
Democracy thrives on a sort of having divergent views. But here it's more than that. There's something else. Now you have the powerful. They want to impose their view on the powerless. You can see it in what's happening in Palestine. You can see it in what's happening in Ukraine. So this is really the issue. When the international organizations, UN and all of that were formed, we thought that we would resolve problems by negotiations and discussion. Now it seems that that world order is at risk. Trump he's not really into that. He's not interested in stuff like that. And we know Putin is definitely not interested. Now Netanyahu, Bibi is in Israel, not interested in that. So this is really what the risk is. No more negotiations and discussions. It's about power. Politics. I have more power.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at stories in the Gambia. Severe water shortage grips residents of Bundung for months.
You know, the issue of Bundung is not a new thing.
Bundung, I mean, for the past years.
I've lived in Talinding for 15 years of my life. And since then, the people of Bundung always come to our end in search of water.
Absolutely.
And they will tell you water is only available at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in the night. And since then, for decades, this problem has not been solved. So I don't know what NAWEC is going to do about this, but I think the people of Bundung, when it comes to water, they suffer a lot.
Well, I think I will blame the National Assembly member for Bundung as well. I mean, what have he done? I mean, did he communicate to his people?
Then you have to blame all the National Assembly members for Bundung over the decades as well.
Exactly. What extra mile have they taken? These people have voted for you. I mean, at some point, you know, you need to make sure it doesn't, I mean, happen almost all these years. I mean, I can remember there was a story on water shortage. I can remember when President Barrow went to Bundung, I mean, to survey the roads. At some point, all the women came out with their buckets, telling President Barrow, we are suffering. And that's almost 2 years now. But still, we have this problem. So I think our National Assembly members will step up the game and also try to represent the people well. I'm not saying they are not doing it, but at some point these are basic things that people need.
But I think the NAWEC Director General explained the reason why Bundung, I don't want to say something that I'm not sure, but I can remember during the press conference, the monthly press conference that they hold at the Sarada Karabajawa, he did say something about why the people of Bundung are not having water. I just can't get my mind on it right now, but perhaps maybe before the end, I will remember.
And the thing is, Mr. Balde, it's kind of unfair to say that you blame somewhat the National Assembly member. It's not the National Assembly members' responsibility to provide water.
But they can influence.
They can
but
influence.
It might not work.
Yes, so then you don't have to blame them solely.
How strong?
It is not their duty, but they can influence.
Is their influence, you know? At some point, when we are campaigning, we'll tell our people, we'll make sure you get all you need. We'll make sure you get your basic need. We'll make sure you get good roads, although they are not responsible for constructing roads, you know. These are promises. These are things that comes with our manifestos at some point. So I am going by the manifestos. If you promise your people they will get water, they will get good roads. If they are not getting it during your tenure, you have yourself to be blamed.
Did he promise them water?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Well, I mean,
you have to be very careful here.
Even if
did he promise them water?
Even if he did not promise them water, water is a basic need, and Bundung needs it. You know, he got the influence. He got at least that connection to help them get water.
No, I'm not sure whether he's got the influence. I'm not sure whether he's got the influence. All he is just a member of a parliamentarian. You go to the National Assembly, of course you make the case, and you might even come up with a private member's bill. You just make your arguments and you advocate, as it were, on behalf of your constituents. But again, whether it's going to happen or not depends on the sitting government, depends on the ministry responsible for that, depends on the money, the resources the country has, depends on all sorts of things. So these things are complex. We cannot reduce them to simplistic formulations. It's this person's fault or that person's fault. It doesn't work like that. Well, they are multidimensional.
In Gambia, we always do the blame game.
We like reductionism. We reduce it to simplistic.
There is a reason. There is a reason you are voted into office. If things didn't go right, we all point our fingers to President Barrow. If things didn't go right, we point out our fingers to our authorities. You understand? Because from a layman's perspective, this is the person that the layman is saying, what is your president doing for you? What is your National Assembly member doing for you? When the shooting happened at Sukot traffic light, what were the people talking about? They were talking about the government. You understand? They were talking about the authorities. They should enhance the police. They should equip the police with arms. You understand? So always we point out, because these are the people that we see. These are the people that we think they are representing us. When I vote for my National Assembly member in Basse, I think, okay, if Basse doesn't get pipe-borne water, I need to go to my National Assembly member and tell him, if you go to the National Assembly, make sure you tell them Basse is not having this basic need. So from a layman's perspective, we are not leaving out the National Assembly member for Bundung.
What is a layman's perspective?
The man who doesn't understand actually, I mean, these things. You said, okay, it's left to the government to do the.
No, we're saying that it depends on the whole bureaucratic arrangement. Government is one, the department who is heading it, stuff like that. What resources do they have? How well are they managing all of that? So you have so many factors. That's why I call it multidimensional. Yeah. That is why it is dangerous to reduce it to one or two things. Reductionism is always dangerous in academic affairs. So it doesn't work like that. And the layman can get it wrong. The layman, so-called layman, get it wrong all the time. I don't do that populist sentimentality. It doesn't work like that. What are the facts? What is it I want? What's our vision? Where do I want to go? What are the facts regarding this situation? How do I think that is the best way to go about it? Exactly. For me, these are the important questions. Whether the layman thinks this or the layman thinks that. The layman can think about all sorts of things. And there is no uniform platform sort of representing the diversity of people. There is no one single layman's view. So there are many views.
So in fact,
it doesn't work
in fact, is there a dialogue about the Bundung water shortage?
I think there's a dialogue in this country about water shortage anywhere. No, this is the one we are dealing with today. Tomorrow maybe another area will come.
What I'm trying to say is there in fact a dialogue. I mean, going back to the people of Bundung, telling them, okay, the reason why we are not getting water for the past years, this is the problem, you know. This is what we are encountering. We have forwarded your comments and your concern to the authorities. But due to the bureaucratic situation, at some point, we won't be able to get water for now, you know. So these are things that people need to, your voters need to get the information. They need to know. Otherwise, you'll just leave them in suspense. At some point, they won't even know what's happening, Mr. Mboj. That's what I'm talking about. Almost 4 years. It's a lot, Mr. Mboj.
Absolutely, yeah. Superficially, when you put it that way, yes, it is a lot, even though somebody can tell you that for development, when you want to develop your society or any sector, given where we started from, 4 years is really not a long time. It's a drop in the ocean.
4 years without water?
No, it's not, and it's not quite like that. Sometimes you get it, depends on what time of the morning you will wake up. That's it. So let us be subtle.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have it completely.
That's
but maybe perhaps
the way it comes late
when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Absolutely.
Water, something like that.
So let's be more subtle in discussing these things, isn't it? One step at a time. What are the issues? What are the difficulties? How do we overcome them? And then we move on. But we all also understand the sort of institutional deficiencies that we have. This has been our problem since independence, isn't it? For institutions to work the way that we want them to work. Even though we blame government, we blame public officials and all of that. But again, our attitude towards public institutions is just so toxic.
It is.
Isn't it? It is. Often we are in there, I'm using public office for private gains.
Yeah.
Most of us. So that will really undermine, it will eat into the efficiency of the institution.
All right.
But it's a societal problem, not a governmental one.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we've already...
Thank you very much.
I think we've exhausted almost all the time for newspaper. In fact, we are getting into the time of the other segment. But, I mean, this is what we believe. Let's argue. Let's bring out the juice. Let's discuss. I mean, you know, very, you know, sensible discussions, you know, very significant, at least people to know, to understand. The reason why we are doing this, we want our authorities to step up the game. I mean, it's not that, I mean, you made a point. We shouldn't just be blaming the authorities as well. But at some point, the authorities also shouldn't just be sitting at their comfort zone. They need to do something. They need to at least act sometimes so that we understand at least we didn't get it, but they are trying their level best.
Mr. Balde, we are still learning to do the institution thing. There's something they call the vision thing. You got to have the vision. But afterwards, when I have a vision, what kind of institution should I have in place so that I can fulfill that? We are still learning to do the institution thing. It's not just in Gambia, really. It's all over the continent. It's just the post-colonial experience. We really didn't know that it was going to turn out like this. We are still learning to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jacqueline, for reviewing the papers with us.
Thank you very much. Even
And
though
I
we could have gone deeper, but time is not on
I
our
hope
side.
we will do this next week again.
Yeah, sure.
You know, very interesting to have you.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, will take a short break. After the break, we are going to talk about the Gambia and Turkey relation. As you know, Turkey has been a very good friend of the Gambia, and you know, a lot of exchange, you know, a lot of commitments been done. So we'll have the Turkish ambassador to the Gambia here, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using QMoney wallet absolutely free up to $30,000 Cs? Use our app or dial 323# and select Q Power. Choose Register Meter. Enter your meter number. Dial *323# and follow these simple steps. Number 1. Select option 3 for Q Power. Number 2. Choose option 1 to buy any amount of Q Power. Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. Q Money, Sunya Kalbe.
Q-Money aning Orange Money ye bulo di nyola pour ka kodi kio sone yandi ka bonan Gambia banko kan kata Senegal banko kan aning Q-Money wallet ika mune batu imuna fan Q-Money account wala sign pour ka dati ka kodoki iterimal anila dimbayal kana aning Orange Money Senegal ni lafta ku Senegal sotola je Q-Money customer care kumandi 133 Q-Money sunyu kalpe nying sartolle bala.
It's happy time. Get 50% off all.
You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Masuri Balde. We are back again. Now let's move to the third segment of this program. As I said, we'll be talking to His Excellency, the Turkey Ambassador to the Gambia. His Excellency
Turker. It's like
Turker.
Turk Air. Phonetically.
Turka Oba, the Honorable Ambassador of Turkey to the Gambia. His Excellency, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balde. Thank you very much for having me this morning. It's a great honor to be in QTV.
It's good to have you here. I'm pretty sure There are people that are viewing you from Turkey at this moment because we receive a lot of messages from Turkey and other parts of the world. So I'm pretty sure. How do you say hello in Turkey or good morning in Turkey?
Good morning is günaydın.
Günaydın.
The morning is up. It means literally günaydın.
Okay. Interesting.
And otherwise, hello, we can say merhaba. It's also merhaba.
Yes. All right, Honorable Ambassador, can you please provide an overview of the diplomatic relation between the Gambia and Turkey and how the relation evolved over the years?
Thank you very much for this occasion. You know, we have good relationships. We established our diplomatic ties in 1965. So next year it will be the 60th year. So it's also an important for the Gambia generally of its independence, but for us also it's very important. We always had fraternal relationships. We did not have any political problems. We felt starting from the first president of the Gambia, there were always something happening positively. I'm very happy to represent my country here. The first instruction for me was develop the relations. I said, how? Well, you have the floor. So we are trying to meet the most people we can, different segment of the Gambian society, to see what we can do. You know, we highly value the friendship of the Gambia. We have many, we have a very good cooperation bilaterally, but also internationally. In the UN, in OIC, I again commend your successful tenure of the summit and your chairmanship of the OIC. I think it's going on well. We can always do better, that's for sure. But I mean, we are doing well, and we have to. We see Gambia as an equal partner. We do not see here as we are coming to a country what we can do for one way. I mean, yes, trade, maybe there's a deficit for the Gambian side, but I hope that in the future we will also develop this to have a more equal level of imports and exports. So we are looking into different things. We are looking in capacity building. We're looking in security sector, of course. This was a very milestone of our relationship. The military, the police, the gendarmerie, now it has been incorporated in the national police. So cooperation, we have TICA, our Turkish cooperation. They've done more than 80 projects here already. We have the Marif School, which is a school. It gives education also in Turkey. It's not a Turkish school. It's doing the Cambridge program, but it has many Gambian teachers. But it's a Turkish foundation that is here, and it has more than 300 students currently this year. And we give scholarships also a lot. In 2024, we gave 31 scholarships for undergrads and grads. There are more than 300 students studying in Turkey right now. There's also the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. There are also more than 600 Gambians studying there. So, you know, there are many things we can still develop, and we will soon start Turkish language training in UTG.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yes, we have been... we have a great vice chancellor and the team, his team, great team. Last week we had a meeting there, and soon we will start, and we will open a cultural center in Senegambia. The place has been rented, and now we are just furnishing it. So we are trying to be present in different segments of the society. Of course, trade is very important. You have a vibrant youth, you have very good business people. I think we can also develop, we can work on that. The importance is to make sure that we have people who trust each other. Turks don't know well yet the Gambians. We are still at that stage. We have to increase and nurture the fraternity, which is at political level, international level, but really on the ground, at youth, more mobility, more cultural exchange. A few weeks ago, the Amputee Football Association visited me. It was very interesting. I mean,
nice.
Some NGOs come. Mr. Keita came a few times. I mean, I'm not making publicity, but just to say that we are trying
it's part of it.
to meet and to reach out. It's my job. I'm not here to sit in the office and to say,
Absolutely.
yes, I clock in, yes, okay,
Yeah.
this is not my
Well,
job.
you mentioned a very significant point. Talk is trying to build that confidence between the Gambia and Turkey. But the only way it can be built is you going into the public, I mean, knowing who the Gambians really are. But I am pretty sure at the end of your study, you will realize Gambians are very nice people.
They are, sir. I mean, I don't need to expect the end. Since the first day, I was very well received, and I thank for the hospitality extended to me and to my embassy. I'm not saying this to be nice on TV. This is really what I feel. Gambians are nice. They're easy, easy, not the correct word, accessible. I mean, the hierarchy, very easy. They pick up your call. We can exchange. This is a big event. I mean, in many countries, we would not be able even to reach to some public officials. So this is very good. I mean, people are nice. As I said, we have to build that solid friendship on the ground at the lowest level.
Yes. Mr. Ambassador, I'm just curious to know, what determines the areas of collaboration? You see, you've mentioned a few areas where we are collaborating, security and all the rest of it, but really, what determines it? Is it that Turkey, you've got your strategy, obviously, with Africa or Gambia, whatever, or is it that what the Gambia needs? Is it that we'll come to you, or we need help in areas A, B, C, and D, and then you decide? What determines what areas are prioritized? Because with us now, when we think we really need to industrialize, for instance, we know that that's a deficit.
Sir, it's a great question. I mean, it would be maybe a $1 million question, your question. So, yes, of course, I mean, we are trying to be more present in African continent. We have right now 44 embassies in Africa. I served 20 years ago as a junior diplomat in Senegal. And then we had 12 embassies. So in 20 years, from 12 to 44. So this shows the interest and the fact that we care about the continent. We don't see the continent just as a market. Please don't take wrong these figures. We try to reach out to people. And when, of course, there are strategies in place. Every ministry has its strategies towards countries and generally West Africa, East Africa, Northern Africa, but also general Africa. So there are different layers. But here we have also the possibility when we meet with officials, with the people, we listen. Sometimes we get very interesting ideas as well because, you know, everything cannot be done from the capital, the HQ. And they are very kind us to give us a room of oxygen. We can also work. We listen, we visit. This is how we do it. So it's not just dictated, if you want. It's not like we will do this. We listen to the Gambian side. For example, right now we have judges from the High Court, and 10 judges are in Turkey for a training. Yesterday I saw Honorable Chief of Justice, and we spoke about that. Recently we had doctors who went for a program about mother health and reducing infant mortality. They had training in Turkey, doctors, nurses. So we are trying to reach out to the challenges, let's say. Every country has its challenges, frankly. I'm not talking as we are great, we have everything, Gambia needs everything. This is not true. We have things to learn from every country, and including the Gambia. I was just talking to your MD. I mean, you have a great country, you have water. You are geostrategically, like Turkey, in a very good place of the continent. You have fertile land. You have a small population. This can be looked as a negative, but it's not. You can train them, you can teach them, you can educate them. If you have 100, 200 million, it's very complicated. You have a human-sized country. You can develop it. So I look very bright the future of the Gambia. And of course our leaderships also are there. I mean, they're trying to do our presidents. I mean, you might like or not like politics, but you need the politics to develop relations. And we have very good leaders right now who are ready to engage to see what we can do more.
Yes. I wonder, have you identified any area where you think that you can have the most impact in our relationship?
Yes, you know, we are also, for example, working on programs about Tibet with the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Gomez, Tika. We are going to open soon, we are expecting the date now, a new, some rooms for welding, carpentry. So I think education and Tibet is very important, and health, of course, is very important. These, if you cannot reach to the fundamental needs of the people, you cannot really develop that trust and bond I was talking priorly, sir. I think these are critical, but of course also, for example, I think about energy. Energy is also, I think, a sector we need to work, and you know, we have company here who provides a big amount of the energy of the Gambia currently, car power ship, but renewable energies, we have to work on that. Turkey, for example, 54% of its energy output is from renewable energies. Gambia has great light. I have a company here, he tells me, we have 20% more of direct light here than in Turkey. So it means that you are more efficient. And the government now is opening new tenders for solar plants. So I think this is the good way. You cannot expect everything from just the central. You have to reach out to the populations.
Just one more. In this relationship, what is Turkey benefiting from this?
Well, they're asking me a lot. Well, you are investing. What do you get? Well, a relationship is not just based on one side receiving something. It can be mutual. I mean, I get the friendship of Gambia. We support each other in the international fora. When there's a problem, Gambia is here. We had an earthquake in 2022, and Gambian people contributed. Some ministers gave their own salaries. They contributed. They came to the embassy and presented their condolences. So even this is enough. I mean, you know, we are at a stage where country needs friends, trusted friends, not just friends linked about, you give me this, I give you that. If you do this, I will do that. This is, I think, an old, ex-dated relationship way.
Yes. So security is key. I mean, it's significant wherever, you know, a country is, whatever they are dealing with. How will Turkey and Gambia try to enhance security with the support of Turkey?
Thank you very much, sir. Well, as I said, it's a milestone in our relationship. Your first president, Mr. Jawara.
Jawara, yes.
Yes, it started from there. So in beginning of 90s, in 91, the first batch went for training. You know, our president then proposed, said, are you interested in expanding our relations? And the Gambia said, yes, we're interested. And that's how it started. And there was a will on both sides to develop. And we trained many soldiers, many security personnel, and I'm very happy about it because they brought their know-how to our country, but we also brought our know-how here. For example, here we have an internal affair counselor at the embassy. He's from the Gendarmerie, Colonel Karalı. We have advisor to the Minister of Defense, the Gambian Minister of Defense, Colonel Anil. So, you know, we are developing even before the OIC for VIP training, all types of training we granted, like many other countries, and we will continue that. We also bring some equipment also. And in the near future, we will also have lots of, you will see there will be a big event happening soon in December or January. You will see in the media. I don't want to say now, but we are continuing.
You're teasing us. You are teasing us.
We are not. For the media, maybe I will have a second occasion to come. I'm investing in my future. So. Yeah. And of course, we also take very seriously Gambia's presence in the international forum, in the UN peacekeeping operations. And we are also supporting this phase, training, equipment, also other countries do, but we do also great many events to foster and to nurture your already existing know-how.
Absolutely. And recently, of course, you celebrated your 101
Yes.
years of
Independence.
independence from Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
Yes.
I wonder, from your experience, we are also trying to build a nation here. What are some of the few takeaways that you think we can learn from your example?
Yes, of course, every country has its specificities. I don't like saying, if you do this, you will succeed. If you don't do this, you will fail. This doesn't exist. I mean, you have to look in the cultures, in the specificities of each country. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was a great leader. Some people don't like, but he was a great leader. He was a soldier, and then he became a leader. He tried to, he brought the cement to make sure that the people lived beneath a republic. You know, republic is not just a name, it's not just a form of uniting. It's also unity, it's believing in common values, shared values, a constitution, living under the rule of law. These are many things. I think the Gambia is doing great. It's going to do more. Of course, it has its challenges, but I think trusting in your country is something that maybe I'm not Gambian, so I'm going to critic a little bit. You could be more maybe proud of your country. You have a nice country. Okay, there were challenges, things that did not go well, like every country. I had also complicated times. But you should trust in your country and make sure that how the youth can really excel and how they can really be pushed. Because you're 54% youth, the country. This is great. All the world is getting old. You are young.
We just mentioned it here when America needs the youthful population, and most of this youthful population you can find them in Africa, you know. So the issue of migrants as well, it's very significant, you know, in believing in yourself. But let's talk about health, which is also very significant.
Very important, sir. I mean, yesterday evening I was with the Honorable Minister of Health. We spoke a little bit about that. Yes, health is very important, of course, and it's also very populistic, because the public opinion, if the system is not well, they will say something. If it goes well, they will not say anything, but even that is important. In Turkey, we invested a lot in health sector, and we are a good country for health. We are doing health tourism. Big numbers of people from abroad are coming. There are schemes to facilitate. So now we are trying also to support the Gambia. You know, you have a good minister, the chief medical doctor at Edwards Francis Small Hospital, Mr. Bitay, also is trying to do something. We are talking a lot, moving a lot. We are, as I said, we are doing a multi-layer program for infant mortality, reducing infant mortality. We brought people to Turkey. We brought people here. Now we are going to donate new equipment. So also we are training, capacity building for the doctors. I think this is very important. There are also other projects in the pipelines, but it's too early to speak about them. But of course, health is a very important pillar of our cooperation, sir, Mr. Balde.
All right. So when you assume office from, is it March?
March, sir.
Yes. I mean, did you take the opportunity to go across the country to go and see the countryside as well?
You are asking very complicated questions. And I always give a big importance to the media, because they find always the question to ask. This is your job. Well, sir, to tell you frankly, until mid-May we were dealing with the summit, and after May I did not have the real occasion to visit. But I went around Brikama, I went to some villages, for example, Bulok, Kasan, I went there.
Oh, okay.
We were doing some projects there, so it was to see some water bore. We went for that, but hopefully in January I would like to go to Janjanbureh.
Basse.
Yes, to Basse. We are going to do that as well. So we are going to visit also the local administration. So my aim is to make a trip touristic, but also to visit the Gambian administration there and to meet them, because we have to be also visible with them. A country is not just the capital and 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers around. It's bigger. So this is sometimes something we forget. I'm not paid to sit in office, so I will now that the rainy season is over, I will start visiting a little bit more, and I will keep you updated.
Absolutely,
sir. So
yes.
you can shame and name if you wish. You promised us, but you did not. Yes.
That would be lovely. I mean, to go around and see the countryside.
Yes.
Basse is the second capital of the Gambia, so it will be important for you to go around and engage the people there as well. Yeah, so Mr. Mboy, do you have any final question before we wrap up this program?
And Basse is only the second capital of the Gambia because you come from Basse. I'm sure people from other areas will have their own views. I wonder, in your short stay, what has been the most interesting thing you found? A sort of culture shock. You go to another society, then you see something, you say, that's interesting, I've never seen that one before. What has been the interesting, maybe your culture shock, as it were?
No, I did not have that culture
You
shock
didn't have
because
that.
I lived 20 years ago in Senegal, and I was covering 6-7 countries, so I was going back and forth. But frankly, I mean, I really like this coexistence in the Gambia. I'm not saying that to be nice again. I mean, there are people with different ways looking to the world, with different religions, different colors. I mean, colors, I'm not talking racistly, but ethnically, I mean. This is a melting pot. And this is the good part about Africa. The borders have always been porous. I mean, there has been always movement. Now it has created tensions maybe for migration, but it's also an example. For centuries, people have been moving back and forth in Africa. Look at all these masks. The passports, the masks, I mean, many things have created. And I think this coexistence is something that I really enjoyed. And also, yes, the sand line, the beaches. I was very much amazed about that. The fact that you can start from one point and walk 2 hours, 3 hours, you continue walking. Actually, this is great. I mean, in a country where you have beaches, 100 meters of beach, lovely sea, you would just have huge skyscrapers, or they would just cut and say private zone. You have to. So this was, I think, something that I was really amazed, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ambassador, for talking to Gambia. Well, that was a very interesting conversation, and we hope to engage you more again.
You invite me, I come, sir. The motto is clear.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Our viewers will take a short break.
Thank you to the media and all your colleagues here, and to QTV. Thank you for allowing me to express myself.
You are most welcome. Anytime.
I extend the greetings of my people to the people of the Gambia.
Gambia. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So viewers will take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be right back.
Toma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using QMoney wallet absolutely free up to 30,000 $. Use our app or dial 323# and select Q Power. Choose Register Meter. Enter your meter number. Dial *323# and follow these simple steps. Number 1, select option 3 for Q Power. Number 2, choose option 1 to buy any amount of Q Power. Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalbe.
Money aning Orange Money ye bulo di nyola pour ka kodi kio sone yandi ka bonan Gambia banko kan kata Senegal banko kan aning Money wallet ika mune batu imuna fan Money account wala sign pour kadati ka kodoki iterimal anila dimbayal kana aning Orange Money Senegal ni lafta ku senengo sotola je Money customer care kumandi 133 Money sunyu kalpe nying sartolle bala.
It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM. We're back. You're watching QTV this morning. Now let's move to the last segment of this program, and we'll be taking a look at the Senior Fest team celebrating Gambia's culture. It's very significant, and I have I don't even know how to introduce our uncle as he's been on here. A legendary media personal.
Just mention his name,
a star,
and that's it.
You know, sharing the same platform with him. It's really inspiring. Yeah, so it's good to have you here, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back. QTV, Senior Boss. And, a very good morning to all watching QTV, especially This Morning program, and we're here today to discuss about a mega event in the making titled Sunyu Festival, the Sunyu Boss edition, in which we're collaborating with the Minister of Tourism and Culture in partnership with the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and also working side by side with the Q Group. I'm here together with a partner, Mr. Babu Kanjai, the CEO of our Boots Media, and also our staff, Madam Rohia Chinjai, we call her Yatugal, or Yatunjai, or Yatudiva. We're all here today to go deep into what the Sunyu Festival mega cultural event is all about, scheduled for the Christmas weekend to kickstart on the 25th of December to the 28th of December with variety of activities.
Okay. Interesting. Babuka, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for inviting me here this morning. It's pretty exciting when we speak about Sunifest. It's been a vision in the making for over 6 years, the vision from Uncle Aziz, and I'm here to make sure that it works. I'm the founder of Outboost Media, a startup in the advertising and tech space. And what we're essentially doing is to make sure that we get the event to the right audience by December. We have a lot of people that look forward to coming to Gambia in December.
Absolutely.
But the question is always, what are the activities that we're going to do when we get here? So we're trying to make this Sunyu Fest, which is going to happen inshallah, between the 25th and 28th of December.
That's the Christmas period.
Yeah, the Christmas period at the GCCI Trade Fair grounds. So this is not just going to be a trade fair, it's going to be a cultural festival, you can call it Christmas weekend, whatever. So it's basically a blend of Christmas and New Year's. Whatever that people used to miss out, we're bringing everything in one place. So this is going to be the first controlled environment of such festivities. It's going to be baby friendly. Parents do not have to worry about leaving their kids to go to watch hunting and all of these things, because we're blending everything under one roof in partnership with different cultural troupes all around Gambia, so that we can display and showcase what Gambia has to offer to not just the locals but the diasporans and the tourists coming here. Eventually, hopefully making it a national festival of its kind that everybody wants to visit Gambia from all around the world. So we look forward to sharing more information about that.
That's it. Let's just sort of dilate on the different activities you plan for. What, 3 days? 25th to 24 days.
Yes.
So what activities do you have in mind?
Okay, so normally on the 25th here in Gambia, most people spend time at the house with their families on Christmas Day. But this is an opportunity for kids to also have very fun activities that they can go out in a safe environment. So on the 25th, we're going to have the Christmas Kids Festival. And it's going to entail things like, bouncy castles, things like mama paras, little kankurangs. So this is, it's making me think of when I used to be much younger, when I used to go to Bakadaji, the festival. And then, there used to be stalls around food, mama paras and all of these things. So we want to bring those things back, because I remember it used to be fun. So I'm sure this is going to be fun for a lot of young people as well. It's going to make them want to come back to Gambia every other year. That's going to happen on the 25th. So on the 26th is going to be the official launching of the Cinefest. Considering that it's the first time, we have to launch it in a grand style, so that we tell people what the vision is, so that we can sell the story. So that we, build partnerships with the government and all of that stuff. So the launching will happen side by side while the festival is happening from 25th to 28th. It's going to be on the 26th in the evening. So we'll invite speeches from VIP delegates from the government, just to, let them be part of the festival, so that they understand what the vision is. So that's going to happen on the 26th. On the 27th will be the official cultural day, where we're going to have the jamboree. We'll have different cultural troupes display their art and talent, masquerades from all around Gambia, from Banjul to Kaina, kankurangs, huntings, and all of that stuff. And 28 will be the closing, which is going to be the Cinefest musical weekend. And what we want to do is to create a platform for young talents here in the Gambia to showcase their talent, be it cultural music, be it art, be it Afro pop, or whatever.
At this point, I think we'll engage our uncle as he's here. He got a little time on the program. So, I mean, how is the Cinefest going to be different from the events that people organize during the holiday season in December?
Ours is, as Mr. Njai just mentioned earlier on, all activities showcasing the beauty and the diverse culture of the Gambia is what we want to go back and revisit, revamp the way it used to be organized. And this one is organized under one roof at the GCCI Trade Fair grounds in Burshubi, more spacious, and it's organized by people with vast experience in the certain areas. We definitely want to take the kind of a product back to the people. We have in the executive organizing committee, we have the security. The security entails the police force for crowd control, traffic, parking, patrol, the Gambia Red Cross, the ambulance, the Gambia Fire Service, all are part of this. And we're going out from Banjul to Kona. We're going to do extensive traveling. Going to meet people who got the experience, who know the culture deep into, whether it's the Sarahule group, whether the acrobatic fuller dancers, whether it's the hunting, the packing, the mama para, the Zimba, and all converging at...
It's more of an intercultural festival.
Yes, definitely that. And I'm sure before I just give chance, they always say the gender balance. Jigéen ñi ci lañ bokk. I would definitely want to talk to people the language we do understand, because if we want to just like stick to what we call làkki nasaraan, li ñu fi indi tey diñ ci mun a sori. I hope you grant me the permission.
Absolutely, no problem. The floor is yours.
Di nuyu réew mi rek di fëgg bunte di beesal nuyoo fii ci pencum QTV di gërëm borom kër gi di chairman yi Q Group Mr Mohamed Jah di gërëm directeur bi di Mr Malick Ka ak marketing Ami Cissé ñoom mi xala yoon ba mun a toog fii tey li ñu indi tey fii ci QTV mooy pour yëgal si réew mi ne ñu ngi fas yéene pour sumbu pour gestu pour suxali pour dekkali aada ak cosaan nañ ko daan defee démba rax si tamit niñ ko defee si jamono yi pour mu mun a rataxal pour ñëpp mun see gis seen boppa moo tax ñu ñëw ak suñu bàyyiwul kenn
waaw ñëpp a ko moom
waaw waaye ba tey suñu bi dafa mun a bootu ci loo xam ne ndam la ci réew mi nga xam ne programme bi lépp luñ fas indi pour sumb ci dañ ko ooyee ci anglais made in Gambia mooy ñiy etta mooy ñiy raba mooy ndaana ni toggkat yi kër dinañ leen fa gis dinañ gis ndaw bi tey kilifa ëllëg ci njaayante bunti njaayante mi njënante mi nekk ak Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry di leen gërëm bu baax a baax ci taxawu gi yaatal géew bi doore ko si borom kër gi njiit gi borom kër gi GCCI di madame Sarata Konaté di leen gërëm bu baax Mr Baboucar Sakho mi toppa ci moom ñu leen di gërëm bu baax a baax ci jàppale gi ñu ngay gërëm ñu mel ni ñoom Gaypa ñëpp ñoo xam ne gis nañ seen boppa ci at mi ñu ngay ñëw ab programme boo xam ne musu fee am kenn musu koo gis te kaddu googu jógewut ci kan man Abdul Aziz Wilane may oo képp ku yeewoo fii ci réewi Gambia ab biti réew ne foo mun di tollu a foo mun di ne aloo fas ene pour sumbu pareel ñaar fukki fan ak juróom ci weeri décembre ba ñaar fukki fan ak juróom ñetta ci weeri décembre ci programme boo xam ne ñu ngi ko ooyee suñu festival suñu édition moom la ñoo fas ene pour sumbu si nii lépp lu la réer si aada ak cosaan kera di nga ko fa gis lépp lu la réer si togga ndaana ni toggkat yi si biir réew mi ñu ne fonkal ma jigéen kera dinañ fa nekk njaayante mi njënante mi kera dinañ fa nekk yu sedda yi dinañ fa nekk yu baree bari yoo xam ne di mun a toog tee rek wax leen lépp du si mun a xej ci diggante bi moo tax ñu ñëw tee rek pour ñamal leen ci tuuti ne am na lu juddu ñu tuddee ko suñu festival boo xam ne képp a ko yeewoo si réew mi fii ñu ngi fëgg a bunta di beesal nuyoo di la woon ne kere bés ba di nga si gis sa bopp.
dëgg la jërëjëf thank you very much so let's come back to Baboucar and Baboucar bés bi naka la moo tegoo ndaxte mu ngi mel ni programme yi suñ bëree yéen lan ngeen mën a ok dafa différence ok yow war ngaa mën a ñëw fii nga enjoy sa boppa
waaw so loolu noonu yëpp xelaat nañ ko balaa ñu doon commencé projet bi luñ doon def mooy dañ dem xool event yu dee am Gambia fii yëpp naka la dee mel lan la nit yi dee worry about balaa ñu dee ñëppul event around December problème yu dee faral di xew doomi kii réel na doomi kile réel na you know sàcca nañ suma bagage yi suma moto bi lii laa léeg-léeg so ñun dañ make sure ne dañ si boole organisation yoo xam ne ñoo mën a prevent loolu dinañ make sure ne boole nañ si Red Cross to make sure we have an emergency ambulance on standby Gambia Fire Services to make sure that everything is safe in the environment because tourists yi in Gambia loolu mooy seen number one concern ne safety parents yi tamit seen number one concern moo nekk safety seen doom yi fu ñoo dem ndax óor na ak yooyu noonu ba tax na nga xam ne dinañ am benn section boo xam ne pour yaay yi la ñu bugg a nampal seen doom bugg a changeal seen doom seen diapers yi loolu ba to that detail lañ dem so da ngaa gis ne lu gars yi doon war a am pour worry yëpp wala worry about logistics yi pour dem ba
maanaam all inclusive
it's all inclusive so ba nga xam ne di nga bëgg a dem ba foofu noonu ñëwaat te sa xel du si tilim parce que xam nga ne si ñooy dem xalaat nañ sa concern yëpp factor nañ ko ba nga xam ne event bi is enjoyable ba nga xam ne consider nañ ne this is the first time. And for it to be successful, we need to look at all past errors by all events here in the Gambia and prevent that and bring in a new experience boo xam ne musuñ koo gis. waaw loolu moo nekk vision bi.
waaw at this point nañ waxtaan ak suñ jigéen bi moom egsi na naka nga def.
maa ngi fine thank you.
good naka preparation bi you people are in.
alhamdulilah ñu si kawam ma nuyu rek képp koo xam ne mu ngi seetaan QTV right now. man maa ngi uyoo Rohiyatu Ndiaye ñu gën maa xam si Yatu Diva Ndiaye waaw maa ngi liggéey ak mbootaay bu ñëw Afrique under Uncle Aziz Wilane.
ok interesting yow lan mooy sa taxawaay si suñu fest bi.
waaw en tant que jigéen. damaa ñëw taxaw rek côté jàppale suma mbokki jigéen ñi waaye tamit duñ bàyyi góor ñi ci gannaaw parce que jigéen nu am doole góor a ko dooleel comme ni ko gars yi waxee rek sunu fest dafa ñëw rek pour suqaliwaat dekkilaat li nga xam ne moo di cosaan ak aada bi nga xam ne Gambia moomal nañ ko seen boppa te mu nekk di nduru lu xaw a nax saay moom lañ bëgg a dekkilaat su xaliwaat su ko defee suñ ndaw yi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo nekk di ñëw su ko defee ñu mun a xam understand ñoom ñoo bokk fan lañ jógee ñoom ñooy ñan waaw
exactly
that's it waaw man ci loolu laa bëggoon a dem sax why this lan a fi lacking dañ feel ne ndax am na lu lacking nga xam ne suñu fest dina ñëw mu fill that gap. I think it's important ñu digga ci yu mel nii.
soo gisee lu tax tourist di dem si dëkka parce que history bu mu riit la feena are we selling our history are we selling Gambia man couple of years ago demoon na Ghana dem fu ñu ooyee Elmina Castle and they talk about the stories of slavery ak yooyu noonu ba dem naa si fu ñu ooyee door of no return and ni ñu ko jaayee dafa tax sax nga bëgg a delluwaat foofu noonu dafa tax nga bëgg a am tie to that country and all of that stuff so dañ bëgg a make sure ne ñu jaay destination Gambia in a way boo xam ne ku ñëw Gambia xam nga Gambia mooy lan xam nga story bi xam nga background yi nit yi xam nga culture yi ba nga xam ne dinañ am ay ñoo xam ne dañooy nekk ay waxtaankat si event bi di toog ak xale yi si benn tent comme léeboon lupin explain naka la Gambia started sun history bi and all of that but ma just extend ko to her maybe moom tam she might have something to say.
dëgg la comme ni ko suma caamañ waxee rek Baboucar sunu fes lim omba dafa bëri soo ñëwee si wàllu jigéen ñi ñëpp xam nañ ne jigéen ñi ñoo mu ne si wàllu waañ so bés boobu di ngeen gis loo xam ne ni xëj na mosu leen koo gis si beneen anam si wàllum togga gi si wàllum toppatoo njaboot gi si wàllum ibil jigéen ñi bunta mooy jigéen yi nga xam ne ay yaay lañ young mothers yi nga xam ne ni xëj na dañ dee bëgg a génn dem programme waaye because of duñ dee am di safe grounds pour mun a ànd ak seeni njaboot so suñu fees mu ngay ñëw si anam boo xam ne dinañ créatal gars yi background boo xam ne yaay yi dinañ dem sa ba am sa fu ñoo war a ceeñee seeni ngeen bi doom ak seeni nappis because dinañ leen créatal rooms yoo xam ne it's gonna be environmentally friendly ba pare itamit su wàllum togga gi di ngeen gis ay mbaxal ay ceebu jën ay findi ay togga yoo xam ne daal xëj na amoon nañ ko ay cuura gerte ay mono comme ni ko suma mbokki soosey di waxee togga yooyu yëpp am na ñoo xam ne tey ay doomi Gambia lañ si réew mi lañ juddoo fii lañ yaroo wala bitim réew waaye am na yenn cafka yoo xam ne nii xamuñ ko wala réer na leen soo dañ bugga pour indiwaat dekkaliwaat suxilaat li nga xam ne ni ñun ñoo ko moom su ko defee ñu jëlaat ko jaayaat ko si biti internationally ba nga xam ne ni képp koo xam ne dégg na 25 December rek dangaa yàkkamti dajale sa paasi ticket wala yàkkamtee paak sa walis pour jéem a ñëw Gambia because then di nga xam ne there is no other destination boo xam ne mu ngi laa offer li la Gambia di offer.
soo léegi dañ bëggoon ñu waxtaan quickly time bi jeex na ticket la wala dangaa ñëw dugga free.
Wow, so dafa nekk ticket, but it's going to be very affordable. We're not just catering to the tourists, we're catering to the locals as well. Xale bu jënc xale si nga condamné sa mun na moo ñëw ne xaaral ma fayal suma boppa waaye tam soo duggee si biir dinañ am ay vendors yoo xam ne ñoom ñooy provide all these services so yow loo bëgga rek yow at your own discretion mun nga koo dem jënda su dee lekka la su dee bouncy castle nga bëgga éeg waaye yëfi culture bi moom boobu moom soo duggee rek di nga ko am jarul nga fay pour gis kankurang fay nga si ticket bi si bunta bi already and all of that stuff so ticket yi mu ngi demee $300 pour dugga per day so yow soo ñëwee si bunta bi rek mun nga fay waaye tam dinañ am place yoo xam ne ñu ngi fa jaayee ticket soo la ñu toppee suñ social media yi soon waaw in advance box office waaw
Thank you. Time bi jeex na tak. Thank you very much.
I hope ne ngeen am Lebon Lupin segment.
Wow.
Inshallah. Loolu moom
thank you for coming. Xam naa ne probably ñu leen indi jàpp wala event bi di ñëw. Waaw.